Hello everyone, welcome back to Slouching... Oh, Jesus. Hello everyone, welcome back to Slouching Towards Bedlam. Last time, we did technically beat the game, although we did it... I feel like we did it... It feels like we did it early. We didn't really have a lot of context for what was exactly happening during the ending we got. It was very, confusing and disorienting. So, I don't know why I moved us back to the flat. We will head back down. Oh, wait a second. I'm all right. So I went to the bottom of the stairs. I wasn't paying attention. I hit down again, and we get a new area called Bottom of Stairs. The stairs end here at a solid metal door labeled Basement Private, leading northward. Triage tunnels patiently along beside. Alright, well, I guess that explains what to do with the primitive key then. Unlock door with primitive key. North. Basement. A dim, cavernous room. It must run the length of the building above, overrun with dampness and the choking smell of smoke. Its rough carved rock walls are lined with all manner of etheric and analytical devices in varying states of disrepair, most melted to slag. Steam pipes crawl over the walls of machines like spiderwebs, disappearing upwards into the ceiling, into the darkness. Where broken, they leak steam and drip water into the growing pools on the floor. The bottom of the staircase is visible to the south. The center of the chamber is dominated by a low, round pedestal. A large, damaged book lies on the ground, slowly sinking into a pool of water. Triage silently rolls to a stop. Let's take all. Let's see what we can get. We get the book. Examine book. Examine damaged book. The heavy brown leather cover has been largely darkened to near black from water damage, and black scorch marks fan like a sunburst from the book's spine to its outer edges. On the front cover, a tree with 10 branches. The design is composed of hundreds of gold leaf ones and zeros rather than lines. The pages stick in large clumps. Even when turned carefully, they pull out easily, reverting to sticky pulp. The pages that do keep their place are difficult to read. The dark green ink has run, the text melting towards the bottom of the page. Only snatches of text are still legible. The Atbash of the Hebrews, the Scythill of the Greeks, Caesar cipher. Long have they been used to maintain the secrets of magical rites, clandestine endeavors, and political intrigue. But these are ciphers created by men who believe in myths, for the benefit of men believing in myths. The initiated mind recognizes that information is more than just words on a page. It is secreted in the world around us. The great symmetry of nature demonstrates that all life is encoded. Sorry, my chair is making noises. Unlocking this code is our duty and right as humans, made masters by God, to understand the... And there's a gap. Itself, mysticism should not be discounted. We understand that myths and legends are often the misguided interpretation of the uninitiated to understand the great truths. Particular insight may be found in the Vedas, the scriptures, and sacred teachings of the Hebrews, whose Kabbalah reflects our own search for life's origin. It is from the Kabbalah that we take our insignia, the tree of life. It is unknown. A gap. To advances in technology, we were able to analyze and decipher these hidden codes with greater speed and alacrity. Alright. If we look again, I guess we can look at the pedestal. A low stone pedestal about waist high, in its shattered center of smooth smoked glass, the faint shape of a tree can be made. Carved about the surface of it are the words, "Nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined." I'm gonna save out of caution once again. Because, like, clearly we found before that Cleve essentially encoded accidentally magic words to unlock the secret of reality or whatever. So we can go south. We'll try to get out of here. I'm not sure what else to do here. So, I guess to be clear, it's been a little bit. I think, I got one exit. I'm not exactly sure what to do to get the others, so, I am going to use, from this point on, a walkthrough. Like, I've been consulting one occasionally just for hints, but from here on, I think I will just, like, make sure I know what I'm doing. So, apparently, what we need to do from here, we tell the driver to go back to Bedlam. The driver gestures into the cab's interior, waits a moment, then nudges his horse forward with a clicking noise and a shake of the reins. The trip feels none too comfortable, but at least the cab's interior gives some insulation against the tumult of London. Before long, the cab slows and the driver announces the reached destination. At the courtyard and the hansom cab. This walled-off area sits at the bottom of a massive staircase, which leads into the building to the north. At its base is a sign reading Bethlehem Hospital Administration. The outer walls meet here, meeting at distant gates, which sit to the southeast. Flanking the top of the staircase on either side are two colossal statues. Triage rests obediently nearby. First off, let's try examining these statues. Just out of curiosity, because we didn't do that before. Human figures they are. Bald and muscular, naked except for a stream of cloth about their waists, each lying against an arch of stone. The leftmost, melancholy, grips the ground beneath him with a look of placid despair. On the right lies Mania, struggling against his chains. That's fun. We're going to get out of the cab. Now we're going to head north. So this approach, I guess the idea is that we want to stop the whatever mimetic agent is infecting us from spreading. Like Cleve had it, we have it now. I guess it's the logo. So we are going to apparently kill James. James collapses to the floor, staring in shock and surprise. But it's when he sees the ivory paper knife lifted from under a stack of papers on his desk that true panic sets in. He scrambles backwards, desperate to get to his feet. Unable to find purchase on the tile floor, he only manages to flounder around like a drunken crab. He tries to scream for help, but his voice fails him, squeaking out only a whisper. Assistance does not come. He had scrambled himself into a corner. The look of resigned fear in his eyes is terrible. May God forgive you, he whispers as he closes them. Blood, deep and red, bubbles from him and spoils the hygienic floor. Then there's a message saying no. What that means, I guess that voice we're hearing is not our internal monologue like I thought it was or something like that, but that is like Logos talking to us. Now apparently we go south. Kill driver. A false destination. It is as easy as that. The cab turns down a vacant alley that ends in a wall. It goes fast at first. Reggie yelps in surprise as the gloved fingers close around his throat. He thrashes, but he is old and cannot overtake the grip that holds him fast. The most he manages is to turn around and stare with surprised, horrified eyes, his fingers clutching his throat, desperate to make room for air. It does not take long for the life to slide from behind his eyes, turning them to glass. Even still, the fingers keep gripping, 1-2 minutes more to be sure. When they let go, Reggie's body slumps and falls to the ground. There is a sickening thud as bones break on impact and the carriage rolls to a stop. Alley. A narrow space between walls, barely enough for the cab to navigate. A handsome cab sits here, with an tired old horse hitched to the front. Reggie's corpse is here. Triage rests obediently nearby. With another death, the cold begins to spread even faster. One thing I just thought of doing, point at damaged book. Okay, Triage doesn't know. That's fine. Now, apparently, what we do from here, we drive to prison. Okay, it didn't seem to work. No such thing can be seen. The cold creeps a little further. Get in cab. Entered. Faced with the task of climbing to the cab, Triage. Okay, we already read that before. Drive to Bedlam. Out. Okay, I get another message from Logo. Cease existence. No, gone, how, why. Okay, can we go west? Drive to, can we drive around? Drive to prison. Oh, we should look through this first. Later. Okay, I think I know what to do here. Drive. The solutions are a bit off. Maybe it's for a slightly different version, but drive to Bedlam. I think I have to go north. Okay. I'm gonna read this again. Lobby. The walls and floor are clinical white tile and marble. However, the dim lights set above this echoing space hiss and pop fitfully, giving the small maze of desks and workspaces within a tarnished, decaying look. A set of solid gates lie open and unlocked to the east and west. A small corridor runs northward and from the south, bright lights of days visible through a set of glass doors. James's corpse is here. Triage obediently appears. Stop pain, killing, hurting, children's cells stop. It will not be denied. It reaches, breathes. Go west. The walkway. Circular chamber. Put a rod in keyhole. The brass rod slips easily into the keyhole. Then of its own accord, it begins to turn, first clockwise, then counterclockwise. Oh no, that's the same message we got before. North. Okay, walkway. The slight wind whistles tunelessly against this mesh of steel, which arcs from one massive open gate to another. A roof curves far overhead, enclosing with block-like building to the north and the narrow tower to the south. Far below, an intricate set of sub-buildings can be seen, enclosed within this complex's outer wall. Triage rests obediently nearby. Force control, survive, protect, stop. It is almost here, it is almost. Okay, if we try going north again, is there what we need here? I think, if we go push button. Okay, there's a lot of buttons there. Okay, we might be on a timer here. We enter corridor 6. Yes, 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 have, take all now, take 4, stop now, yes, yes. Cleve's words somehow echo across the world. Too late, too late. If there are words for this, reference point metaphor, they have not yet been written. It starts simply enough. Okay. It starts simply enough. Nothing occurs for the first week. It takes that long to incubate. There's Logos is reading W.B. Yeats' The Second Coming, same as before, throughout all this. James, thankfully, is not alive to see the end of it. They find his body laid across the floor of the lobby and mutter about bedlam, claiming yet another life. They find Reggie's body in the alleyway and write it off as a robbery. Reggie doesn't notice a thing. It's business as usual, and business is good. Is that a glitch? A week after the incubation, he's infected seemingly half of London. His clients, his barmaids, his family. Alexandra, and then it's the same, yeah, as before. A bit of a glitch, but we got the Appendix B ending. One second, I can figure out how to fix this. Okay. So it's not the most glorious way of doing it, but in the archives it says like ignoring the railing would likely result in a rather fatal fall. So I said jump off railing. I killed James and the cab driver. And we still get ending B. Wait, what? Okay, I think I figured out what was going on here. So, a bit of discrepancy. I think, because I'm playing a newer version, we have to get to the prison here. I wasn't sure how to do it before. Because the guide I'm reading says to drive to the prison, but they call the prison here Newgate, the Newgate Jail, the British spelling G-A-O-L. G-A-O-L, so that's what was happening there. Regardless, slowly but surely, Betsy draws the carriage to the city streets towards Newgate. Outside flat 2D, this small empty road lies at the base of a small hill. It is lined with thin buildings, many advertising flats to let in their windows. The one directly north contains a door labeled 2D, to the west of the massive stone edifice that is Newgate Jail. A gallows prepared for tomorrow's public execution towers over the street. A triage rests obediently nearby. A handsome cab sits here with an old tired horse hitched to the front. So we need to go to the jail before. I think we should go here and look around some more, but before we mess anything up, let's just complete this. We're going to go west. Before the gallows. Set directly beside the towering stone walls of Newgate Jail, the scaffolding staircase rides northward, leading to a tall, wide stage. Above, the noose sways gently in the breeze. The slow dip of the hill takes the road eastward and down to where the hansom cab waits. Triage obediently appears. Wagon missing part whole silent self. The cold creeps a little further. We go north. A short flight of stairs, but the walk up to the gallows is still a long one. Platform. A wide, flat plane of solid wood, above which, at eye level, hangs the noose. Just below there is a thin outline of trapdoor, perhaps 10 feet by 8. Directly beside the stairs, off to the left, an automaton waits, unmoving. Triage rolls silently to a stop. Wait. If we examine the automaton, this isn't part of it, I'm curious. The automaton stands directly beside the stairs, a grotesque parody of a man. Its heavy torso, only partially enclosed in black robes, grows right from the stage floor, the cogs and gears that serve as its organs exposed. Its massive arms grip an iron switch. A red button sits on the platform directly beside it. Examine the noose. The noose is made of new stout rope. A closer inspection reveals a series of fine wires woven into the knot. These run up the length of the rope, over the beam, down along the back of the stage, and vanish beneath the automaton. Alright, examine trapdoor. Okay, never mind. Well, only one thing left to do here. The idea is we're going to kill off every way the Logos has into the world. So we're going to push the button. Red button. The button begins to glow. Beside it, the automaton pulls itself upright with a whir and a groan as the floor rumbles with the distant sound of a steam engine springing to life beneath the stage. Cease existence, no null gone, how, why. The colt has teeth now. It stretches, unfolding like a flower. Where noose? The noose slips easily enough over the head. The fit is loose at first, and with noise from above, the wires pull upward, causing it to tighten. An unseen bell gongs from beneath, shaking the floorboards. With a rapid series of clicks, cogs grating against cogs, the automaton turns its head towards the empty street. There's a hiss of static, then a recorded voice speaks. All good people, pray heartily unto God for this poor sinner who is now going to his death, for whom the great bell tolls. More clicks, the automaton turns to face the noose. The static sounds like steam leaking. You that are condemned to die, repent with lamentable tears. Ask mercy of the Lord for the salvation of your soul. You have 1 minute remaining of your life. You may use this time to beg forgiveness of God and the good people of the great kingdom, or to make your peace with your Maker in silence. Your minute begins now. A minute to reflect, a minute to regret, a minute to repent. Suddenly, the trapdoor snaps open. The landscape rises up in a rush, a quick jerk, and then darkness. If there are words for this, they have not yet been written. The scandal follows the apparent murder-suicide plagued bedlam. Neither the police nor the governors of the hospital could discover a satisfactory motive for the good doctor's brutal slaughter of his assistant, James Houlihan. The newspaper delighted in reporting the gruesome details of the murder. For days, their pages were replete with the big story, Bedlam's decay over the last 20 years, pathetic interviews with Miss Edna Houlihan, who suffered doubly. She lost both her son and her sole means of support. Scathing articles demanding to know why a madman had been given charge of Bedlam in the first place. In the wake of all this, Sir John Charles Bucknell was named as temporary chief of Bethlehem Hospital, and Victoria herself had ordered an inquest into the governor's misappropriation of government funds. Reggie's murder is ignored in the wake of what follows. The police attribute the death to a botched mugging. Upon hearing about Xavier's death, Dumont experiences a horrible instant of dawning realization. For a moment, she sees a pattern form from herself and her associates to Cleve and Xavier and back. She wonders precisely what happened that night in the basement. Then she pushes the thought aside and goes back to her work. Things come for a full circle. The body of Thomas Xavier is brought home to Bedlam for study. His remains examined for some physical source of his madness. In the end, no matter what the public may debate, the reasons for his actions can only ever be known to him. And this is Appendix D. I think I'm so engaged, I think I might just power through getting all the endings here, and then we can just worry about chopping it up into discrete episodes later. But before anything, let's read that appendix. Appendix B. Source: The Bedlam Phoenix. The urgent need for reform of Britain's lunacy asylums. Pamphlet, London, 1855, by concerned citizen and good Christian. Above the door of the Bedlam perch two figures writhing in stone. Mania and melancholy. With such guardian angels, is it any wonder that this so-called hospital has destroyed more minds than it has saved? It was innocuous enough for a time, to be sure, when it was a comforting place of rest for those gentlefolk with enough capital to be mad or cured as they pleased. Outfitted with the lavish grounds and the latest, most expensive devices available, it was a veritable resort. But now the wealthy have fled, and having to take wards of the state have made Bedlam an unfortunate example of our hospitals. Dismal, disintegrating mausoleums where the afflicted are locked away forever, to be most brutishly mistreated and ignored by a staff no more sane than the incarcerated themselves. I remind you that in the past year, Bedlam has suffered the loss of not one but two successive superintendents. The year began with the suicide of Dr. Brand, allegedly due to overwork. Most recently was that of Dr. Thomas Xavier. The details of his end, coupled with the gruesome murder of his nurse assistant, still resound in the basis of our newspapers. Were they driven mad by spending their days in the dreary grave that is a British asylum? Or is the alienist profession simply made up of madmen? Either way, it's clear that the current system is a threat to our society. It's certainly easier to lock the mad away and forget them like this. Ignore them, forget them, condemn them to the shadows. But brothers and sisters, I must say nay. It is our duty as citizens of London and good Christians to embrace those that God has touched so particularly. Demand for the raising of Bedlam and all such dens of madness, and try to build from the resulting ashes something new, where the afflicted may be comforted and cared for, as is the right of all God's children. Actually, I changed my mind. I think we are going to call it here. This was, I guess, more cohesive of an ending. It still seems not yet fully motivated, but how we would know to do all this, but we will continue exploring endings next time. I also want to explore the jail grounds, because we didn't get a chance to do that before. So I will do that next time, but for now we will call it here. And as always, thank you for watching.